In this tutorial, we will be looking at rationalizing the denominator with radicals. To rationalize the denominator with a radical, we're going to simplify the radical in the denominator, and then we have one of two choices. If the denominator is one term, then we just multiply the top and the bottom by the radical. If the denominator has two terms, then we're going to multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator, and then we're going to simplify if we can. So for letter A, square root of 3 is simplified. So we'll go ahead and multiply the bottom by square root of 3, because if I take square root of 3 times square root of 3, that just gives me 3. And then I also have to do the same on the top. So I have 8, and then root 7 times root 3, they're both underneath the radical, so I'm going to multiply them together, and then root 3 times root 3 is really root 9, so the bottom is root 3, and the top becomes 8 root 21, because I'll multiply the 7 and the 3. For letter B, we're going to want to simplify any of the radicals that we have. So up here we have 12, which is 4 times 3, and 4 is 2 times 2. So we have a pair of 2's. So we have 2 times 5, because we already have a 5 in front. Square root of my 3 is left inside, plus, and then 8 is 4 times 2, and 4 is 2 times 2. So I have a pair of 2's. So I bring the 2 out front, and I already have a 2, so times 2. And then I have root 2 because there's 1 2 left over. Over 18, which is 2 times 9, and 9 is 3 times 3. So I have a pair of 3's. And then this 2 can stay under the square root. So multiplying things out, I have 2 times 5, which is 10. Root 3 plus 2 times 2 is 4 root 2. All over 3 root 2. And then because the top has a plus, we need that as a quantity, and I want to get rid of the root on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply by root 2, top and bottom. So on the top, I would distribute root 2 to both terms on the top. So then I will have 10 root 3 times root 2 is root 6 plus 4. Root 2 times root 2 is root 4 all over 3 root 2 times root 2. Root 2 times root 2 just becomes 2, so the bottom becomes 3 times 2. And then we can actually cancel out a 2 from the bottom, cancel out a 2 from the 10, and a 2 from the 4. And then root 4 is really 2 times 2, so I can take that out. So I have 5 root 6 plus, we have a 2 times a 2 we took out, so plus 4 over 3. Letter C, we have a subtraction sign in the denominator, so we have two terms, which means we have to multiply by the conjugate, which is 5 plus root 6, top and bottom. So on the top, I would distribute 4 root 2 to 5 and root 6. 4 times 5 is 20, and then we have root 2. Plus 4, and then root 2 times root 6 is root 12 over, and then when we multiplied conjugates before, remember that we had 5 minus root 6 and 5 plus root 6, and this gave us 25, and then we have 5 root 6, and that's a negative, and then we have 5 root 6, and that's a positive, so these cancel out. And then root 6 times root 6 is 6, and it's negative. And then 25 minus 6 is 19. And then we can go ahead and check and see if we can simplify the top again. So 12 is really 4 times 3, and 4 is 2 times 2. So we have a pair of 2's that comes out in front with the 4. So we have 20 root 2 plus 4 times 2 is 8, and then 3 is left under the radical over 19. Letter D, we notice that we have a minus sign in the top and in the bottom, so we have to make those quantities, and then because the bottom is 9 plus root 5, we need to multiply by the conjugate, which is 9 minus root 5. And then on the top, we have 3 minus 2 root 10 times 9 minus root 5. So we get 27. 9 times 2 is negative 18 root 10. And then 3, so we have negative 3 root 5. And then negative times the negative is positive, 2 root 50. And 50 is actually 2 times 25. And 25 is 5 times 5. So we have a pair here that come out front. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 2 doesn't have a buddy, so that stays inside. So then we combine like terms. So we have 27. Root 10 and root 5 are not the same, so we have minus 18 root 10 minus 3 root 5 plus, and our simplified version here of 10 root 2 all over, and if you remember, we have conjugates, 9 plus root 5, 9 minus root 5, 9 times 9 is 81, then we have plus 9 root 5 and minus 9 root 5, and those cancel, and negative times positive is negative, root 5 times root 5 is 5, and so we have 81 minus 5 is 76. And everything is simplified, so this is our answer.